Hi there, this is Herrero, the Itinerant Librarian, and I'm coming in with a quick video to highlight some books that we have recently received here at Hutchins Library that I'm hoping to read sometime soon. So this is kind of a little bit of a library haul, except these are books that we have bought. A couple of them I ordered personally, and I checked them out to myself, hoping that I can get to read them. Once I do read them, you'll find a full review on my blog, The Itinerant Librarian. So I got 10 books, looks like, today. So let's go ahead and get going. I apologize in advance that the books don't have covers because we are an academic library and we don't tend to keep the covers on the books. There's a technical reason for that, but that's another video, maybe for another time. Anyhow, let's start with the first one. And I got a little bit of everything here, mostly nonfiction. The first one is Disposable, America's Contempt for the Underclass by Sarah Jones. It is published by Avid Reader Press. This is the cover page, Disposable. And it has what I consider at this point in time one of the best opening lines in a book in this category. From chapter 1, and I quote, "For too many people, misery is the formal policy of the United States," unquote. And that's how the book opens. This is a blend of personal narrative with in-depth reporting, looking at America's racial and income inequality and the effects of the COVID-19 epidemic. If you like books like Matthew Desmond's Evicted and Andrea Elliott's Invisible Child, you might like this one as well. So the book is, again, Disposable by Sarah Jones, published by Avid Reader Press. Next, something a little different. This one is, the title is Hoodwinked, How Marketers Use the Same Tactics as Cults. It is published by Prometheus Books by Mara Einstein. Let me get the title page. This is the title cover page right there, Hoodwinked. This book combines industry interviews. It looks at examples of advertising campaigns, and it combines also business and scholarly research to look at how marketers basically co-opt our emotions in the name of corporate profits. So basically, it's a guide to help you decide if you want to engage with certain kinds of marketing or not. Again, the book is Hoodwinked by Mara Einstein, published by Prometheus Books. Next, let me see, grab this one. I tend to like books that are what they call often microhistories, which are histories that take one small topic and really make a whole book out of it, kind of thing. And I also like books of things like a history of the world in, 10 objects or something like that. For example, the history of the world in 6 glasses, which talks about 6 different beverages. That's the kind of book I like to read very often. So I got one along those lines, and that is A History of the World in 6 Plagues, How Contagion, Class, and Captivity Shaped Us from Cholera to COVID-19. Isn't that upbeat? By Edna Bonhomme. It is published by One Signal Publishers. Here's the title page. Let me tell you a little bit about it. Epidemic diseases enter the world by chance, but they become catastrophic by human design. So yes, basically, once people start making bad choices, well, bad stuff happens. A History of the World in 6 Plagues shows that throughout history, outbreaks of disease have been exacerbated by and gone on to further expand the racial, economic, and social political divides we allow to fester in times of good health. If you thought things were bad before COVID, they only got worse afterwards. So this little history explores cholera, HIV. I do remember the rising of HIV, the Spanish flu, sleeping sickness, Ebola, and COVID-19, and public policy and its effects. So the book again is A History of the World in 6 Plagues: How Contagion, Class, and Captivity Shaped Us from Cholera to COVID-19 by Edna Bonhomme, published by One Signal Publishers. Next, let me see here. I'll be honest, when I looked this up again and I looked at the book, I was like, why the heck did I order this? Was I was the one who ordered it. And then I realized part of the reason why. The book is this, let me get the cover page going here. Disaster Nationalism, The Downfall of Liberal Civilization by Richard Seymour. It was published by Verso Books. Here's the cover. Let's see if you can read it there. And a little bit from the publisher description. Liberal civilization is in crisis. Ooh. Now is the time of monsters. The rise of the new far right has left the world grappling with a profound misunderstanding. While the spotlight often shines on the actions of charismatic leaders such as Donald Trump and Jair Bolsonaro, the true peril lies elsewhere. Defeating these people will not stem the tide of driving them forward. They're merely the embodiment of profound forces that are rarely understood. I often say when it comes to the politicians today, especially in the U.S., I don't worry as much about the big people like Trump. I worry more about the followers and the demagogues who are inspiring them. So I'm hoping to learn a few things from this book. And part of the reason I'm reading it is because I think you got to know the ways of your enemy, right? So every little bit of information helps, at least in my line of work. Again, the book is Disaster Nationalism, The Downfall of Liberal Civilization by Richard Seymour, published by Verso Books. Going along the line, here's something a little different for a change. A little bit of esoterica. I'm always, or often, reading something esoteric. So this time I got Wild Witchcraft, Folk Herbalism, Garden Magic, and Foraging for Spells, Rituals, and Remedies by Rebecca Beyer, B-E-Y-E-R. And I apologize to Miss Rebecca in advance for if I butchered her name. So again, Wild Witchcraft, published by Simon Element. This is the cover page. Actually, the book has the cover itself, so this is what it looks like. Ain't that nice? Look at that. And a little bit from the book description. Learn how to cultivate your own magical garden, harness the power of herbalism, and better connect with nature through practical and sustainable tips from an experienced Appalachian witch forager. So, two reasons why I'm going to read this. One, because it has regional interests. We are right at the edge of Appalachia, and I do try to read as much as I can about the region and its people and just to learn. So this has a local interest, so that's one reason to read it. And the other reason is for the, the esoterica slash, magical pagan angle to it. I'm not going to become a herbal witch anytime soon. I don't think. I don't think my path lies that way, but I always like learning new things, and this sounds kind of interesting. So I'll let you know how it goes. Again, the book is Wild Witchcraft, Folk Herbalism, Garden Magic, and Foraging for Spells, Rituals, and Remedies by Rebecca Beyer. Here's the cover again. Next. Oops, lost my notes there. Where is it? Where's the book? Oops. Okay, here we go. Got my notes back on track. Sorry about that. The next book, it's another one that has a local interest. The book is called This Book is Free and Yours to Keep. Haha, yeah, you wish. But the book is called This Book is Free and Yours to Keep, Notes from the Appalachian Prison Project, edited by Connie Banta and a few other people. This is the cover of the book. And again, this is another one that I have a couple of reasons why I want to read it. One, again, it has a local interest. It deals with another aspect of the region, the Appalachian Prison Book Project. And let's see a little bit. This is an inside look at the Appalachian Prison Book Project with essays, letters, artwork, and creative writings that was sent in by incarcerated people. The Appalachian Prison Book Project is a nonprofit dedicated to providing books to people in prison across West Virginia, Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, and Maryland. So this is the book. This book is free and yours to keep. Edited by Connie Banta and a few other people. Who publishes this? Oh, it's published by the it is published by the West Virginia University Press. There you go. And I'm reading it in part for the local interest, but also, I may have mentioned this in social media once or twice. I do also have a pen pal, a guest of the state, so to speak, that every once in a while writes to me with a variety of reference requests. So part of my duties as a reference librarian is to try to answer those, and been sending information and things back and forth for a while, and it's kind of interesting actually, to be honest. But that's another story for another time. Let's see, what's the next book? Going back a little bit into politics, but this is a little different. I always like books about books and reading, and books about what people are reading and what kind of books people read and things like that. So, to that end, I got a book called What the Presidents Read, Childhood Stories and Family Favorites, edited by Elizabeth Goodenough and Marilyn S. Olson. It is published by Rowman and Littlefield, so this is the title, What the Presidents Read, right there. This is kind of an anthology collection. The book catalogs presidents' early reading, so it has samples of things they may have read, short stories and fairy tales and things like that, but it also has contemporary commentary from people at the time, as well as reporters, historians, and journalists who are looking at what the presidents read and what kind of books influenced them in their younger days. So it is kind of a bit of a hefty book. So let me see, and it's pretty much pretty comprehensive. It looks, yeah. I think it covers just about every president. They're not always in order, though. It is divided by topics. So it looks at books in history and geography, sports, games, and play, animal tales, things like Alice in Wonderland, performing story, poetry, and speech, periodicals they may have read. So it's a very broad kind of book. This one might take me a while to get through, but when I do, you'll find a review on the blog. Again, the book is What the Presidents Read, edited by Elizabeth Goodenough and Marilyn S. Olson, published by Rowman and Littlefield. Next, I'm always curious about international topics a little bit, so here's something on an international topic. Next, I have the Wagner Group, Inside Russia's Mercenary Army. Yes, that Wagner Group. Here's the title page. The book is by Jack Margolin. It's published by Reaction Books. This is an expose of the Wagner Group, Russia's notorious and secretive mercenary army. Exposes the history and future of the group. It reveals details of their operations that, according to the publisher, have never been documented before, and it goes all the way from following individual commanders and foot soldiers to other atrocities they have done, all the way to when the demise of their chief director, Evgeny Prigozhin, which was, I remember that in the news a little bit ago. So it presents not only the future of the group itself, but of Putin's political system, and it also talks a little bit about the privatization of war, which is kind of a topic I find interesting at times. The book again is The Wagner Group, Inside Russia's Mercenary Army by Jack Margolin, published by Reaction Books. There it is again. And to wrap up this time, I got two graphic works. One of them I got the graphic edition of the classic book that many people are recommending in the hard times, on Tyranny. This is On Tyranny, the graphic edition. The book is by Timothy Snyder, illustrated by Nora Krug. This is published by, who the heck? Oh, it's published by 10 Speed Press. I figured that I need to read On Tyranny. I don't know how long, I don't recall how long the original book is. I'm told it's pretty short, but time was tight. This came in, and I figured, what the heck, I'll read the graphic version of it. So here it is. So if you want to learn a little bit more about On Tyranny, 20 Lessons from the 20th Century, this is the book to read. And if you want something a little bit more visual, well, you can get the graphic novel version of it. We have it here on our library. Published by 10 Speed Press. And last but not least, this is something a little different. This one is simply called Human Rights by Yayo Herrero, illustrated by Luis de Mano. Published by 7 Stories Press. Actually, this is supposed to be a book for young readers. It's a kind of a big book. Let me see. From the description, there are so many different kinds of human rights: civil rights, rights for workers, children, LGBTQ plus people, rights to go to school, clean environment, right to think freely, etc. Human Rights is an oversized and vibrant visual book full of timelines and definitions and mini biographies that explain all there is to know about human rights. Let me show you a little bit, because you have to see this. So it's got all kinds of visual things. For example, I know this is going to be hard to see, and I apologize for that, but the right of peoples to self-determination is this page over here. And it's got nice big color images and text explaining, but it keeps it concise. And it covers all kinds of human rights. The struggle for children's rights, for example, that one takes 2 pages. It is a beautiful book, to be honest. I'm looking forward to reading this one. So there we have it. 10 books that we recently acquired here at Hutchins Library at Beyer College that I have checked out to read at some point in time. As I mentioned, when I get them read, I will publish a review on my library blog, and on my personal blog I'll have the longer review. And for some of them I may also do an under 5 review here on the channel. So yeah, that's my library haul for today. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. You know the drill. If you liked the video, a like would be nice, but no pressure, right? If you want to keep watching more stuff, you can always subscribe. I'm not one of those people who has a video every other day, so if you subscribe, you'll just get something from me once in a while, usually on Sundays. That's when the posting schedule for videos works for me. And in the words of Walter Mercado, mucha paz, mucho amor. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.